Indeed, it is time for the Friday chat. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Kuamsha
mapema nayo.
So they existed at 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's okay.
It is good to see you, Wilson Mburu. We have Joseph Bonyo, Micheal Karanja. We hear a lot of business from that end, and we see you a lot on the primetime news. How are you doing today? I see you a lot in the morning.
You
see me? I also see myself in the morning. How cool is that?
How does that feel?
How does that feel?
Yes.
How it feels is this, by the way. Many people ask when you're like in studio, do you panic, whatever? I always think it's just me and the guys in studio, the cameras and the crew. So I don't, you know, some people said, you imagine like you have millions of people or thousands are sitting and watching, and then you'll go like, oh my God. No, I just think I'm just talking to these peeps. Not that I don't have an appreciation of my viewers, I do. And I always, you know, strive to give the very best for every show, but I don't like let all those, you know.
So at what point does the connect to the viewers thing come to
Has this become an interview? Sophia is on the hot
Interrogation 101.
No, the connect really, the connect really is, you know, with like the show, as we've revamped it now, we have a lot of news updates. So constantly thinking, this is the show that everybody is waking up to in the country. So when you wake up, what do you want to hear first? What's happening? What do you expect? What do you, will you be expecting the whole day? So we have a lot of that, keeping people posted. And then just interesting interviews. And on Friday, taking it down. You know, light, easy conversation with peeps like yourselves.
Awesome.
Yes, and before another question comes for me, let me start shooting. Karanja, journalist, umekuwa ikazi miaka ngapi?
Since about 2008.
2008, that's how many years? About
6 years, yeah.
Yeah, how did you get started?
It's actually interesting. As part of my degree course at Daystar University, I required to do some internship.
Yeah.
I ended up doing an internship at one of the local radio stations, one of the leading local radio stations. 6 months down the line, I got a job, never looked back since then. And then I finally joined KTN in 2012, January. Yeah.
January. Yeah. And was it for you from the very beginning, you know, when you were a child running around, I want to be a business reporter, I want to be in business? Was that?
Actually, during my internship, actually, I was put on the business desk, and I actually absolutely loathed it. I did not want anything to do with business. I wanted to be out in the field with politicians. But the person who mentored me in the like business reporting, she was actually amazing. And soon you become used to it, and it starts coming naturally. And the more you get to talk to people, the more you get to interact with people, the more you like it, and the more you're able to look at things in a different kind of perspective.
Okay, interesting. From loathing to loving it. That's a good mentor. Bonyo, business desk head. What is this the same story for you? At some point, you didn't like it. How did you land there?
I think my story mirrors what Karanja has said. I started at another media house, National Media Group, as an intern in 2007, straight from campus.
Wow.
And initially, I wanted to roll with the politicians. I felt I had what it took to be a political reporter. But then again, on my first day as an intern, one of the business editors saw me and called me to his desk. And he told me, you have to sit at this desk, you are going nowhere.
Yeah.
So my attempts to go back to the political desk were thwarted. So what happens is that the next day I'm sent to an assignment. And I remember vividly it was at Kenya Power. So I was given a senior reporter to shadow who apparently disappeared. So I had to find my way to Kenya Power.
Yeah.
I got there, listened to the press conference, came back to the office, and started to struggle to write a story. So with the help of two gentlemen at that desk that today I hold very dear, I crafted a story. And the amazing thing is that I had a byline by day 3 of my internship.
Wow,
yes.
That's huge.
So that is what cemented my love for business reporting, because ideally my other colleagues who are in the political desk, I think it took them about a week, 1 month before they could have real bylines, standalone bylines. And to me, that was what cemented me in business reporting. Then I also have to say that the team that I found at that desk were very, very supportive. I think we were 2 interns, and all of us had turn out to be very amazing people, in as much as one of us sold the struggle. He left journalism into other things, but those of us who remained, I think we've done the struggle very proud.
Yeah,
Yes.
and clarify for us, I might be here saying good stuff for the byline. What is a byline?
A byline
For
is
someone who might be
simple.
watching.
You see, when you
doesn't
write
know.
a story,
Yeah.
and the name that appears as the person who's written the story.
the story.
Yes, you see, ideally, most organization as an intern, you'll get your story written, yes, but you'll always write, if it's a standard group, standard reporter,
Yes.
or you'll get standard team. But I think as an intern, getting your own standalone byline is motivation. And I remember
You
my
didn't
old
cut
man.
it and like stick
I
it
have
in
it
your...
to date.
Oh, there we go.
You must be framed
Bonyo.
somewhere in your house.
Planning.
Attack on.
I will be framing them soon.
Yes.
But I still have it. It was a
Oh.
Kenya Power story.
Oh,
And
that's nice.
I was over the moon
I can imagine.
about that.
And that, of course, before we come to Wilson, was newspaper writing.
Yes,
Now
yes,
you're
yes.
in TV.
Yes.
How did that transition happen? Because for very many people, writing for paper and for a script to go on TV for a story is not quite the same. It's different.
It's interesting because I trained as a broadcast journalist.
Yeah.
But I've had the love for writing ever since I was in class 7.
Right.
Yes, I think my affair with journalism actually, I always say, started when I was in primary school, because it used to amaze me. I come from a village where politics is the order of the day, and rallies could be held, and on the next day you see them in the papers. Especially what amazed me were the photos, because in the village you take a photo, it takes 2 weeks. Like in my village, it had to be taken to Kisumu, about 1 week, then it is brought back. That is when you are able to see the photo. But you see, photojournalists would take photos the very day, and the next day it's on the papers.
Yeah, on.
So the speed at which this was happening was very amazing to me.
Amazed you, yeah.
And my old man had a culture that we used to read a lot of newspapers. He used to buy us newspapers. So reading newspapers and listening to news was part of our growing up. I think at some point, right now, I tell people I'm a news connoisseur, because if you find me in my house, I'll either be watching news or reading a newspaper or a magazine. Yes.
You're into the industry completely.
I'm immersed into
You're
it.
immersed.
Yes.
Wilson, we used to hear this voice on radio and be like, not a bad voice, very cool. And then I was told, Wilson Mburu is coming to KTN. I was like, finally we're going to put a face to the voice. Tell us about your journey, how you got here.
Well, in my entry into journalism, I actually started as a cameraman.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you can right now work one of these cameras? Yeah?
Yes.
Kupatia kazi.
Please,
Kupatia kazi.
give me a challenge.
Yeah.
So I actually started as an intern at Family Media.
Okay.
I was an intern for camera work, but then they discovered that this guy has a voice that looks like it can be used for other things. So I got into radio.
For other things.
Yes. So I got into radio. I moved from, that was in 2008. Then 2009, I moved to Easy FM, worked there for 3 years, and then I got here.
So for radio, what have you been doing? News, show?
No, at Family, I actually had a show. I had a sports show.
Oh, because I was going to ask if you were preaching. It's important.
Precisely. Precisely.
Were you preaching, or did you have to infuse some, Bible verses in the sports news?
Here's what Leo Slingerland told me.
Who's that?
Leo Slingerland is the CEO of Family Media. When I got there, he told me, he asked me, so why do you want to work for Family Media? He said, it's the leading Christian station, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he stopped me and told me, listen, this is a normal radio station or media house with a Christian message. It's not a Christian TV station. It's not a Christian media house. It is a normal media house with a Christian message. Those are two very different things.
Yeah. So you did not have to be saved.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. But there are people, there used to be all sorts of shows. Because as a Christian as well, you're in this world. You're a real human being.
You're right.
You live in this world. You have to live like other people. So it was quite an interesting. Yeah.
The transition, how has that been? You've been around for quite a while now here at KTN, reading news on TV. How different is that? With the cameras, it's live, it's all happening. Of course, radio as well was live and happening, but this is, people are seeing you. Whenever you make a blunder, they see that, and you have to look the part as well.
Looking the part, let's start with that.
Yes.
The elephant in the room.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, we all these trainings we've had, and you're being told, oh, you have to dress like this, you have to dress like this, you can't do ABCD.
Right.
I used to have a sort of routine where I used to get into the office at 5 when I was at EasyFM. I used to get into the office at 5 and leave at around 1 or 2. After 2 o'clock, I used to be so sleepy. So every time I get into a matatu, I had to sleep.
Yeah.
Not once, twice, thrice, no. The matatu was actually taking me some other place though. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, so we got here, and I'm told, so Wilson, those things that you used to do, first of all, getting into a matatu, you have to disguise yourself. You know the training that we went through, yeah?
Yes.
And that is quite a challenge, because I am so used to doing things one way.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, because of your public image, you have to do things this way. But, you know, somehow you have to find,
Yeah. Would you say it has been an easy transition, or it's been tricky?
The adjustment in terms of image has been a bit tricky.
Okay.
But in terms of...
Because now you have to be conscious, you're a public image, people
Yes.
know you.
Yes.
Do you have people coming saying, oh, Wilson? Girls, high-pitched voices running after you.
I'm married.
Yeah, you're but even if you're married, it's not like you walk around with a tag.
Still come through.
You know, Karanja, it's like you walk around with a tag, I'm married. No, we're just asking.
Especially now that
anyway,
there's no
girls
ring
still-
even.
Huh?
There's no ring even, so there's nothing to...
By the way, it's the ring.
But you see,
How do we know?
who says the measure of marriage is based on a ring?
It's based on what?
My parents have been married for close to 38 years. Not even a single day have I seen my old man or my mom with a ring. And they're
Yeah.
happy, so this should not be a measure.
My
It's
dad
not
once
a
told
measure,
me.
but it's always good.
My dad once told me.
Yeah.
The ring is in your head.
Precisely. Precisely. There you
Okay,
have
everybody, let's remove the rings.
That's what my dad
You
told
have
me.
it there. Yes.
Yeah.
So long as it's engraved in your head, that's it.
Then that's
So
it.
you're married.
Yes.
You don't ever have one ring?
I have. I have. Then I got tired of it.
And your wife is okay?
I'm not used to jewelry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And Bonyo, now that we have gotten into these waters,
Yes,
let's swim.
I'm married traditionally,
Yeah.
about 3 months now.
Oh, so you're newlywed. Congratulations.
Yes, but I think at the end of the year, the ring will come into being.
In the head or...
Yes.
In the head?
It will be all over. It will be all over. Both in the head and the fingers. So
And the fingers.
Yeah.
So you've talked about
Fingers.
tradition. Fingers, but how many
oh,
rings?
it's just
Finger.
one. Huh?
I said
Okay.
fingers.
Oh,
Well, his finger and her finger.
precisely.
2 fingers.
Sophia gets the
You
drill.
know, just making sure.
You mentioned traditional
Yes.
wedding. Take us through how that was, because you know, very many people, especially now, will skip that, and yet I find, like, even for me, I always think a marriage for the parents, it's so important when they marry you off. You know, it's such a beautiful time when you're born. When you get married, and okay, when you die, unfortunately, those are the really big events in one's life. So yeah, how was that for you?
Amazing. I
Easy
think
time?
it was a moment in my life that I'll always cherish.
Yeah.
Simply because the process, it all requires going down to the girl's home and asking the parents of her hand in marriage. And this is not something that you just do alone.
Yes.
I had my parents with me, I had my brothers, I had my close friends, and it was a ceremony. And at the end of the day, what the cows that we took, because in my traditions, you have to take cows.
Like literal
Real cows.
cows,
Real
not
cows,
money.
not those...
Not money.
Sindovu.
How many cows did you take?
So how many cows?
I took 5.
Wow.
Yes.
So-
Like a real man, I took 5. if I had the means of taking 10, I would have taken 10.
10, yes.
Yes. But first of all, you have to go and purchase the cows alone. So I had my dad and one of my uncles accompany me to the market.
Wow.
Then we bought them. Then we delivered them to my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
from there on, a few days later, we now went to the home.
Yeah.
And this is where I was accompanied by my old man, several uncles, my aunts, my mom was there, my sister was there, my brother was there, my cousins, my real friends. it was a battalion of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we had to go there and seek my wife's hand in marriage. From her parents.
Yeah.
From her home, in her mother's living room.
How was, telling your folks that you're getting married, you've identified this woman, how was that conversation like? Did you call them, or did they see it coming all along? They knew it was obvious, or did you sit them down to them?
It took them a little bit off balance because...
Really? Had you confused them with others?
Not really.
Okay.
I think I've always said that the only woman I'll take home was the only woman I was going to marry.
Okay.
And that is precisely what I did.
All right.
So the moment I did that, the first day my wife went to my village, then they started seeing the signs that
it's coming.
There was light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, indeed.
And it was not an oncoming train. So
it was indeed a union.
Precisely. Then the prodding began. Yes, a few things here and there. You need to do this. How is so and so doing? You see the kind of things that they tend to ask you to find. Is it real, or is it just some of the things that you people, young people in Nairobi do? You see?
Right.
Yes. So after that, I mentioned it to them that this is it. This is the real deal, and I'm ready for this.
And you're ready for this.
Yes.
Hey, Karanja. At this rate, we're talking marriage. I don't know your story now. I don't know where you are.
I'm not married, but I'm in a committed relationship.
Yes.
And hoping to cross that bridge sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is it dating young man? You have a good career, and of course there are always these others who will, want a piece of Karanja. How do you keep to keep your woman happy and secure in that it's just the two of you? Because very many articles have been written, why I bring this up, saying that journalists rank very poorly in dateable people. They're seen as the ones who will cheat, or the ones who are just all over the place, cannot be trusted. So how do you keep yours going?
I try to keep my relationship very honest, and she knows what I do, and she knows the kind of line of work that I'm in. So if she doesn't find that a threat, then there's nothing to be worried about.
Yeah.
And in terms of having droves of women throwing themselves at you, personally, I haven't had that problem. I don't know what that says about me. But I take it in stride, and I just try and keep it in the key thing here is honesty and just being true to one another.
And being true. Why are you saying that side, Wilson? Do you have droves of women throwing themselves at you?
He said he doesn't understand why they don't do that.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
It seems there's a problem.
The first whole week, Lupita has been huge news, not only in Kenya, globally. Did you see that coming, Karanja? Did you see her actually winning the Oscars? Because when we heard about the nomination, everyone was like, wow, that's even as good as winning. And even if she didn't win, guys were like, still, it's big. Then she won.
I don't think people are that surprised, because I think everything was hyped around her winning.
Yes.
And I think had she lost, it would have been another story in itself, because I think the way she carried herself during the whole process, ever since the movie came out and there was buzz about the movie, this lady has been very articulate in terms of how she's portrayed herself. She's been energetic, charismatic, and she's also been eloquent. She's left us with quotes like, no matter where you're from, your dreams are valid.
Not even your journey when they're
and there's even a song out now. Chris Adua did a song.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a song.
There's a song out now. Yeah.
What's it about?
About Lupita.
About Lupita.
And validation of people's dreams. But I think she was something that was actually, I'm not an expert on Hollywood, but she was actually something that she's a breath of fresh air to Hollywood, because she's someone who people didn't expect, and then out of the blues, here comes someone who's strong in character. She knows how to carry herself.
Yeah.
She's model-like, because everything she's gorgeous, because everything she's been in has been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the buzz was right, and I think just winning the Oscar was just the cherry on top of the.
Yeah.
I think her biggest strength is that she's so green.
Yeah.
She's not one of those big Hollywood stars. She's just somebody from out of nowhere.
She's your
People relate with that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I honestly wouldn't have cared if she won or she lost. Because the fact that she was in that movie, such a movie of that magnitude, I think that
was major.
But and then you go on and win.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
I think I'll have to say that I've never really put a lot of color into Oscars and all that.
I know.
But that the moment Lupita was nominated for the awards, then I became keen about it. But I must also say, I've never watched any of these events, how they happen. So the moment she was announced, my instinct told me they were going to play the Kenyan national anthem. So when that did not happen,
it became a bit confusing.
I was like, no, is this thing that they say that she's Mexican now taking over her being Kenyan?
Not national anthem, like it was athletics where the winner's anthem is played.
Because ordinarily a Kenyan takes to the podium and they're used to the national anthem. Yes. And it is very an emotional song.
We should petition Hollywood.
Precisely. So
I can't believe it. So you actually were there thinking national anthem iko wapi?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So that was my low point. But then again, later on, Mickey here and a couple of guys took me through the drill. But I have to say that the win for her has really set a stage for Kenya as a country, that we must do certain things to support our actresses and our actors.
True.
I think right from the government and private sector players, we should use that opportunity to look into ourselves and see how best can we build a platform to make the dreams of other actors and actresses valid, as Lupita said.
Validated.
Because we cannot let this opportunity pass us.
True, true. We have that kind of opportunity. We have the space to be able to have more Lupitas. Gentlemen, we'll continue this conversation in a short while. We're about something that is witnessed largely in the Kenyan market of men. I'm talking about men and, you know,
public opinion. Public opinion.
As you've noticed, I've changed my sitting posture.
He's changed his sitting posture. You know, it's usually seen by some guys will argue it's mzee wa nyumba, you know. It shows that for the older generation that he's a man when he has a kitambi. It shows well established, rich or well off, taking care of the households. But we're seeing very many more like ourselves here.
Stop pointing all fingers.
Bonyo is trying to deny, but you know.
No, I'm sure right now we're all doing this. Suck
No, I can't
Sucking
breathe in
some big
normally.
Are you breathing normally?
And out normally.
Yes.
Yes, but I have to say that it is a disease that most of us, especially young people, have fallen into.
Right.
Personally, I think I haven't been in a gym, I think 12 years plus.
Wow.
Yes, and these are the sins that I have to pay for not paying attention to my body. But I'm working on it. It's work in progress.
Yes.
And I think 2 months ago, an issue occurred that I became very conscious of my body weight and my public opinion. So it's work in progress.
Yes.
I'm doing all manner of exercises. Yes.
So you're back
as we await the gym to go live.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. There's a gym that will be opening here at the Standard Group. I hope we'll be seeing more of us. But you see, for women, I think there's more pressure than there is for men. Do you find that? Do you feel that you need to have this flat, muscled, toned up body?
Lupita-like.
Lupita-like. Well, but for the men version.
Here's the thing. With the rounded waistline.
I like how he's pointing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, it's an effect of you know, so many things. But then again, what you see on TV and what you can actually achieve are very different. Because I've been to the gym.
Yes.
And it didn't work out as I expected.
So you gave up literally.
What happened?
You were con.
No, I actually ran out of time. This schedule became a bit chaotic.
Chaotic.
Yeah, so time to the gym.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where you actually feel, no, I'm too heavy.
Yeah.
I'm too heavy. This is a lot of weight on me.
So for men, you also think about this weight thing? It bothers you?
Precisely. Imagine taking 2 flights of stairs and you gasping for breath. Yes.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Okay.
It's messy.
Karanja?
If there were chaos in town and you need to take off, what happens? Karanja.
No, listen. The thing is, and in Lupita's words, no matter size
how
of you, it's valid.
No matter how big the waistline is valid.
The thing only stems down to, are you keeping fit? because I don't think it's a combination of dieting, it's a combination of exercise, because I do a bit of exercise. I can
Flexible.
Yeah, I can run. I'm a bit flexible.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of I've gotten to a place where I think I'm okay with it. Would I want to do something to reduce it? Perhaps, yeah. But it's not something that I would be oh no, I have to sit upright, I have to suck in some big ones.
Yeah.
I mean
You're
it's
comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
Plus,
you're saying
it's not something that someone would say it's right or it's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where the conversation should be.
it should be.
Yeah.
And you know, we're doing the Nairobian today covers the story about the muscled men, you know, and as much as you're saying we might see them on TV or whatever and they look amazing and everybody's oogling, but for some they're that way, but they're getting there real fast, not because they're using the right ways to get there. It's not working out, it's, you know, medication and also good stuff, guys.
I think it's a matter of society as well, because
Yeah.
you know, when you talk to a number of women, oh, tall, dark, oh, muscular.
Yeah.
If you listen to those women, I'm telling you, you're going to be in problems.
You're going to be stressed
But
out.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite lines before the January incident was about why go for a six-pack when you can have a barrel that contains more.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is what you used to encourage.
Validation.
Validation. That's the validation.
I'm telling you, this one is going to be misused.
You have to protect what you love. You have a six-pack underneath, it's protected by a layer of
All the men, I'm sure, they're cheering on it. Like, yes, tell them.
Protect what you love.
What did you say?
Vitambi, protect what you love.
Awesome.
Catch me right there.
Should trade back that.
I know, trade back that one, right? And have men wearing those t-shirts
You know?
in town. A day for the men.
Make money on that.
But their politicians would definitely be a big one. But you had Kathy's question
Yes.
about the wedding. You know,
Yes.
for women, especially when you're getting married, you want this big wedding. And mostly the men will start thinking, and with so many wedding shows, and then the fabulous weddings sometimes you'll watch. How is this going for you? What kind
I
of...
think the old age quote that you cut your coat according to your size
Yes.
perfectly fits, because there's no reason for going for extravagance while you can cut cost, do something minimal, and at the end of the day everybody's happy. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's all about declaring before man and God that without fear or favor, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So it doesn't really have to be a grandiose affair. Make it as beautiful as you'd want within your reach.
Yeah.
Because what is the essence of having all these fantasies while in real life you can barely achieve half of that? So my take, and it's a discussion that we're having with my wife, is that how best do we have something that is beautiful for us, for our family, and then our friends. So that is how we are looking. Us first, our families, then our friends.
Then your friends.
Then
Right.
May I chip in?
Yes, please.
Here's my thinking. There's wedding and there's marriage. Two very different things. And after the wedding, you guys have to remain married.
True.
You guys have to leave after your wedding.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something that you can't afford, and then you're running into debt, so how do you want to start your married life
After.
in a hole?
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, as you say that, I know of a couple, they got married in debt, you know, by borrowing a lot of money to have this amazing wedding at this really posh place. They're now separating, divorcing.
Well, that's the other thing. Man.
Yeah.
Having a grand wedding.
I know.
All I believe in weddings is that it should be memorable for the for the both of you. As in
Yes.
it must be something that you will remember for years to come as you try and make the marriage even stronger. It's not about making the wedding strong. It's about making the marriage.
One of my church elders
Yeah.
told us, "What? Do this. Come to church. Let's have you guys. Let's
Bless
have
the
bless the two of you. Then." When you guys can afford, something grand, you can do Jubilee, 25 years or 10 years or whatever, when you can afford
when
it.
you can afford it.
The key being when you can afford it.
Okay, want to continue to something lighter, but there's a tweet here from Gitao Ngugi who says, "Say hi to Mr. Wilson Mburu. In his childhood, he used to make toy cars for me. The man is going places." I'm not joking. He's actually confirmed. confirming. I'm proud of him. See, he used
No,
to
I wanted to see the
toy cars.
picture, see whether I know the guy.
Oh, okay. Guitar.
Ay,
I'll
gaya
open that,
soka.
but ulikuwa unatengenezea nani?
So we can clearly say that in your early life you are an innovator.
Innovative.
Yes.
You're innovating.
Why
keeping
did the
kids
dream
happy.
die?
Who
It's
says it
valid.
died?
So you
Oh,
still do.
You still
I can make
making
a toy car.
You should, because I mean,
It's big business if you think about it.
It is big business,
The toy
guys.
industry is very big, running into billions of Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd advise you to do a proposal together with Michael here. We are willing to be investors in it.
Yeah, and we'll cover it in the business segment.
Why not?
We will.
I like being a sole proprietor.
You don't want
You're selfish.
investors?
No,
You're selfish.
it's okay. It's okay.
You know, there's usually habits that will argue really bad, things that people will do in public. For me, one of them is toothpick. We're at a table, we're having conversation, and this person not covering, they're just, and then yanking all these pieces from their mouth. What for you, Michael, just really irritates you with behavior or sometimes with people in public? It's a hard one?
I think that's a hard one.
Yeah?
I'm not sure anything.
Who has something on top of their head? Something.
Chewing gum while talking.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I hate it. It doesn't make sense. If I'm having a conversation with you, if we're playing football and you're chewing, it's fine. If you're running, you're chewing, it's fine. But especially if it's in an office setting,
yes.
and you are trying to have a conversation with someone and they're chewing,
Right.
it becomes very difficult to take that person seriously.
So chewing gum.
I'd not say a particular thing, but I always say that in all our actions, how we carry ourselves, we should at least have some modicum of decency. It works well. Look at it as if I'm in a public place and there are these other people. Why don't I behave in a manner that is also not going to be affecting the other people? So whatever you do, whatever you say, just make it be within the comfort of others. It works well.
Okay.
Yes.
Karanja, has something popped up?
I really don't judge people.
No. Yeah, kuna judging.
Is this guy calling us judgmental?
I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's one of those things that's bad
But
manners.
like he says, it's just a matter of being decent in front of people. Some people,
Yeah.
some people, it's not that they're doing it knowingly. It's just that it's something that they're used to doing. Then all of a sudden, like someone picking their nose, using a toothpick at the table. It's something that they do naturally.
But it's bad manners.
It's bad manners, yeah. But if you're not going to tell him to stop doing
please.
it, then you shouldn't be judging or.
They should know better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Then you realize another thing, Sophia. As journalists,
Yeah.
you meet all kinds of people.
Right.
So you cannot really have a specific issue that irritates you with a particular person. Maybe he is the source of your biggest story of the day. And you see the moment
I like
your
how you've looked at
anger
that.
level
Yeah.
goes high, then you've lost it.
You've
you
lost
miss the
The
story.
moment you get
So
distracted.
just have to accommodate them, but at least
Okay.
decency.
Decency.
Yes.
Guys, our time is up, but I want you each to tell us something we don't know about you. Whatever it is, think about it very quickly as I look through some of the tweets, because in a short while we'll be crossing to the newsroom to speak to our on stories we expect we're going to be following throughout the day. But yeah, one of those things interesting. For me, when I was really, really young, and I think this was because of watching a lot of movies, I wanted to become an FBI agent. then you can imagine how that happened. Then I discovered that first
Oscar.
No, but that quickly changed later. Then I'd find myself reading newspapers in the house and interviewing the sofa sets and all that. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm also part of this chat and letting people know things they don't know. What don't we know about you?
I always try to wake up and step down on my right foot first.
Interesting.
That's
As
a lot of thinking.
routine.
So you wake
I
up
always try to do that.
and
And
where's the right leg?
yes.
Wow.
Because I'm imagining when you're waking up, you're just groggy.
I know, I just roll out. Okay, why right leg first?
I think I'm a bit superstitious when it comes to that. I think if I wake up with my right leg,
To the right day.
yes. And if it happens that
Rest up on the right.
I use the left foot.
Yeah,
The left foot
left,
gets down
yes.
first. I'm always very. You might not see it, but I'm always very cautious on that day. And at the end of the day, I'll always say,
Interesting.
It ended well.
The right leg man. Bonyo.
Nothing in particular, but I have to
There
say
must be something we don't know. There are many things, Bonyo.
many things. So
One.
I'd actually write a book about it. But then again,
Memoirs.
one thing that most people don't know about me is that I'm a very humble person. The perception most people have about me is that I'm very arrogant. And I think that is just the face I put when doing business.
And you have some charity work you do as well?
Yes. I run, I'm the sole brains behind the J. Bonyo Foundation. And what happens at the J. Bonyo Foundation is that every time I go to the village, I identify a need and I talk to my friends who are in the corporate world for the extra things that they had an activity that they don't need.
Yeah.
It could be football jerseys, it could be t-shirts that they had an event and stuff like that.
Right.
And what I do is that when I get to the village, I just give these to teams, football teams, women groups, because at the end of the day, I have to give back to the society where I come from.
And that's
because
awesome.
I grew up in the village, I relate with them, and I understand
And you
them.
understand.
Yes, so I just want to make that difference for man, God, and society.
Awesome.
Yes.
Vicky?
I think I was very close to actually going to a chef school.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'd actually considered from an early age. I think that's the one thing that stuck with me right through to about 2005, just before I joined uni. I was actually seriously considering to becoming a chef.
Wow.
It's something that I love. It's
You still
something-
cook though, right?
I still cook.
You cook for your girlfriend sometimes?
Yes.
Awesome.
So not often, but when I do, I put the hammer down and.
So can we
nip
make a
ups.
date you cook for us guys, Friday chat?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I need a confirmation. All the Instagram photos of food that you have, they prepared by you.
Well, I'd say 50-50.
She cooks
She
as well.
adds some. She adds that element that I perhaps forgot. and that just completes the whole outlook of the meal.
Interesting.
Okay. Thank you guys very much for joining us on the Friday chat. I like that several people are commenting and somebody saying here, George Kisundi, having a valid Friday chat with Wilson, Bonyo, Karanja, and a valid, cool chat. It is indeed. Thank you guys for being part of our show this morning.
Thank you for waking
Thank you,
us up so
Sophia.
early.
I think it's made up for the early morning. I was telling Mburu earlier on that I missed doing a number of things I did in the morning.
We're glad you sacrificed for the nation.
That is such a broad statement.
Thank you, Mburu.
So-
It's been a pleasure.
Stay with us.